Do you think that there are certain habits that allow you to be more of a risk taker, or things that you do with your time that sort of help you to stay focused? Like, so for example, for me, what I do is like I'll listen to a certain kind of music if I want to like elevate my mood, or if I want to be thinking about a certain, I don't know, something conceptual. I'll listen to something a little bit more conceptual in my music choices. So is there certain habits you have like that?
A big habit in my life to like for self-growth is like self-reflection. So like as frequently as I can, I'll like, and right now I'm like also going through like a huge time of personal growth. So it's more apparent now, but I'll take a look and I'll see if there's like patterns in my life that are holding me back from things, and maybe like keeping me inside of a comfort zone, and I'll try to see like how I can break those patterns, and like a good way to just step outside of that. And I've always tried to live by the motto, like if something makes you uncomfortable, it's a good compass for self-growth, and it's a good compass to step outside and like push yourself. So I guess in that aspect, definitely. And then like music too, I find very uplifting. And
is there anything you read, or are there sort of designers you look to for inspiration, or?
It's really dangerous for me to look to other designers for inspiration, just because there's that risk of stealing their work.
Sure.
Even if you do it subconsciously, like you look at their stuff and then a month later you might be doing something exactly like it.
Yeah.
And then you see it again and you're like, oh, I just copied them. And but there's definitely books I read to try and get in the mind. Like there's a difference between copying work and then stealing the way that someone thinks.
Sure.
Because if you can steal the way someone thinks and sees something, then you've just grown like personally in your perspective on life.
Sure.
So if I can do that, then I find the resources to do that. But, it's like a lot of podcasts online about what's her name? Dr. Renee Brown.
Okay.
She's like a psychologist, and she has like some really interesting topics. She wrote a book, The Power of Vulnerability.
Okay, cool.
And even though like it's not design related or anything, that was actually a really impactful one.
Yeah, and I would tend to agree with that. I think you don't necessarily have to look at creative sources to be inspired to be creative. And if there's other examples that you can think of things that you do in your life, like for example, I don't know, maybe you like garden. I'm not saying you do that, but someone could do that, and they could actually take that as a way to organize their space, and it gives them time for self-reflection, like you said, or lets them wind down, or whatever.
I longboard a lot, and that gives me like there's a certain amount of peace in that, because I like can go downhill really fast, and then when you're walking back up the hill, I reflect on everything, and like even if I get an email from a client and they're like, oh, we want to do a logo that's like flowers and coffee. If I don't think about it right away and I go out and I longboard, and then it's like stewing in the back of my mind. And so that's a good one. And I guess like going for coffee with people too. I know that's like a stereotypical one, but I don't know, when you're talking to people and sometimes they just solve your problem for you without you realizing that you even asked them the question. So I find that really helps to wind down.